Today is May 27th. Boone is joining, and we are going to talk to him all about this big trade.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, theme, and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks.
I lied. There was no trade. There has not been a trade made.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talking Yanks. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Jimmy. His name is Jake. BBD producing away. Brought to you by SeatGeek. The Yankees have not made a trade. That was a lie. We are going to talk to Boone. That's the truth. Jake, how are you doing? You look good, by the way.
Thank you. James, Davis, Bryce, everyone tuning in.
Let me see the back of your hat.
Don't wiggle your
Twirl
finger at
for
like
me, boy.
It's a Knicks hat.
Because it's a nice new hat. Nice.
It's an older hat. It's I don't wear it a lot because it's normally with the rest of the clothes I wear, it's too much.
Yeah.
Because this hat needs to go with something pretty basic in the front because it's like a big logo. But yeah, I'm interested to see the streets today because the last time we did Boone Talking Yanks last week hit the streets and like it was the 1990s. Everyone was in Knicks gear. Everyone was excited. I think today is going to be a very muted. The comparison I'm going for is like Hunger Games, like the Rebel Rising. Like if the Knicks win tonight, it's like attack, kill.
It's over.
And part of the reason we're talking about that in fake trades is the Yanks they're getting good and boring.
Good, boring, and the time slots are tough.
Yeah.
The only excitement right now is Weaver's faltering, but still getting the job done.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Right.
Like the games are, the last two games, the only excitement was like, oh, is Weaver going to blow it? And then he doesn't.
Right. Like how much is Weave going to tease this for us?
Yeah. He's clearly bored.
Dude, Yarborough.
Yeah, you're nuts. What were you guys saying before we go to Boone? You were saying that you have bad news for me about the schedule?
Oh, that'll be after Boone.
Okay,
because
and all the trade talk.
I know you've done some schedule stuff. I think we're going to do some actual trade talk after Boone. And I'll being honest with the people, which we've done since the start of Talking Yanks. There's times I've restricted your lies.
Yeah.
And today I suggested it because last night's game, dude, when I looked at the stats after the Neto home run, that the Angels were 1 for 21 against Yarborough. And I was like, okay, because I started doing mean stuff. I started doing like, who on the Angels had a good at bat? And then I was like, wait, what was the hit? And it was the squibber to Yorbit that he just chucked at Ben Rice's face just to bully him a little bit. Like there was some rooted stuff there that when I saw that was the hit, I was like, oh my God. So again, I know there's been a lot of Rockies and Angels hate on this program recently, which again means the Yankees are really good, and they are really good.
Baseball is in a really good spot in a lot of markets and in a pretty tough spot in a bunch of other markets. Okay. Now that I haven't been doing Talking Baseball as regularly, you get to some of these teams, and I'm just like, I don't know any of you.
Yeah.
And, a lot of fans are of that mind where they watch their team, they know their division. Right. But I used to go, you used to watch the Angels, and I'm like, oh, yeah, you and you and you.
Right.
But it's like hodgepodge. It doesn't.
I'll say this.
Chris Taylor getting traded over and starting right away, like that adds to the little bit of confusion and all that. But, yeah.
I'll say this in a complimentary way to the Angels. I think they're an ideal bad team.
Okay.
Because you look at them and you're like, okay, it's a bunch of kids. And then it's like, okay, yeah, maybe Moncada gets traded. Maybe Taylor Ward gets traded. Maybe Soler gets traded.
I know all the names of this team. They're just like, oh, wow, this is a collection.
It's very much
Ron and his gang.
It's very much this team should trade a lot at the deadline, which we need more of that.
And one more note on this, because the Yankees fall into the same bucket.
Oh, and Boone talks about this in a minute.
Yes. Well, I was talking about the Dodgers series coming up.
Right.
I have 3 position players that were World Series position players.
For the Dodgers?
No, for the Yankees. Judge, Volpe, Wells.
Oh, interesting.
No one else was playing in the World Series. So like you're like redemption. I'm like, well, for 3 of the 10?
Well, Jazz is coming back.
For Dodgers? No.
He'll tell you.
That's what he's saying.
Yes.
But isn't that wild? You know, the Dodgers are going to be like, oh, wait, I don't know.
Grisham was on the bench watching.
Yeah. Rice wasn't there.
Yeah.
So that was a thought I had.
Max Fried.
I'm not going to ask Boone about it.
I mean, right now the Yankees-Dodgers rotation is Fried, Warren, Yarborough. No skin in the game.
Yarby was a Dodger.
Right. Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday Night Baseball, Yarby versus Yamamoto. Does it get better?
No yes at all.
Tough.
It's a bummer.
I don't like that. Know what I do like? T-Mobile. Bantering with Boone is brought to you by T-Mobile, the network we trust, whether we're home or at the ballpark or on the road. I've got a true story from this weekend, Jim.
All right.
Rockies series. Me and Noodle are in survival mode. And during the Rockies game, Noodle, he gives me the bark. And I'm like, okay, what's up, dude? And it wasn't that I had to pee bark. A number 2 for my number 2. So me and Noodle had to go outside. And when we did that, we still watched the game because T-Mobile's 5G network coverage has you covered anywhere you go. At the park, at the bark with a poop.
Bark at the park.
Magenta status, they've got a bunch of perks that come with that with T-Mobile. Discounted tickets, MLB games, hotel deals, in-flight Wi-Fi. Perfect for trips like heading to the Derby. We've got our All-Star game planning sessions going on.
This is
It's
a
gonna
Derby
be
ball.
That's a Derby ball. And it's got the magenta. Big thanks to T-Mobile for partnering with us. Go learn more at T-Mobile.com MLB and add the best 5G coverage in the game.
And after Boone, Jake will showcase us Noodles pee bark and poop bark because I need to hear the difference.
Yeah.
All right, here's Boone. Welcome back to another Bantering with Boone. Boone joining us from your old stomping grounds, West Coast. Does it feel nice to have a week in LA? That feels like an odd schedule thing. A full week just in LA.
Well, I haven't had the full week here yet. So, but no, yes, it's good to be home. You know, I got to see a lot of old high school buddies and their families and stuff yesterday, and my mom and dad. I'm getting ready to go to have breakfast with them downstairs. So, and then I'll see some friends when we go up to LA, and yeah, so it's good. And just the weather we've had this year, just the amount of wet and cold and whatever. It's, you know, nice to roll in here and it's 72 degrees and sunny, and it was, so that part's nice.
Rodon's finally going to get to pitch in the sun. He's just been chasing cold. There was some stat that Rodon has more starts in under 55 degrees than any other pitcher or something like that. It was like,
Really?
yeah, because he got the one last week that we had like 2 beautiful days, and then it was freezing, and he was on the bump.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is he kind of likes it when it's crappy. So
Yeah, he runs hot.
Yeah.
I'll do a little Yankee. Sorry for this lack of a better term, Yankee baiting to start. Do the road crowds ever blow your mind just a little bit? Like Colorado, Judgy hadn't been out there, so there was a lot of Yankees / Aaron Judge crowd. And then LA, man, I'm not twisting the knife. Like how loud it gets for the Yankees at Angels games is nuts.
Yeah. And we've had some really cool games here over the years that, I think of that when there were several years back when Didi was on fire.
You got a curtain call.
You got a curtain call. That's right. But I do notice it here in Anaheim a lot. Like, man, we've had some fun games here. This is just a neat stadium to play in. You know, it's kind of a little bit of a homecoming for me. So I have some friends always in the stands. I love the dugout and the view. And usually those Yankee fans, you can hear them.
I think Judge at that point was like, I haven't gotten a curtain call at home yet. Didi got one on the road.
Yeah, he's made up for that.
The Rockies, that series, I know you're going to toe the nice professional line here, but they haven't won it.
What I'm going to do?
What's that?
Don't tell him what he's going to do.
Okay, good.
Blanche?
I'm just playing mental games. You almost lose, and you don't lose, but you're in a close series, you lose game 1. They have not won a series against a single team yet. Is there any sting or any would there have been any sting or any nervous, what the hell's going on here?
I mean, you definitely want to get out there winning the series, and And I mean, again, like I say this all the time, but like when you've been in the game for as long, it's like, it's not that easy. So, we lost that first game. Hats off to them. They played well. We did not play a bad game in that game. We didn't drive in some runs. We didn't get some big hits, but we did a lot of really good things in that game. The Rockies beat us that first night. And then, obviously we explode the next day. Got boys have the big inning. And then even the last day, it's just a little bit, the rain delay, wipes out the starting pitchers. So it changes the dynamic a little bit. And you're going out there after sitting for 2 hours. So a little bit dicey, and the ninth inning got a little nervous there, but so it's good to get out with the win, but either way, like I felt like we played all right in that series. So it's like, if you go out and you lay an egg or you play poorly and a team beats you maybe that you think shouldn't or whatever, those sting a little bit, but like, I thought we played all right. There's going to be series sometimes where you don't get a hit or they keep you in the ballpark, whatever it may be. I felt like our focus was good. And they got us once.
You say the big inning in game 2, and you said that last night in the post-game presser that you had, you rode the big inning in game 1 against the Angels.
Yeah.
Is there anything to, and this is a genuine question, there's 2 stats that Inside Edge keeps that I'm always curious about. One is big inning, 3 or more runs in an inning. How many teams do that? Do they win when they do that? And the other is scored in 3 different innings.
Right.
And I've been trying to do, like the last couple of years, monitor those 2 stats and then playoff teams and trying to see if they mean anything, if they're predictive. Would you?
And?
3 different innings in the last 2 years has led to better postseason. It means you have a deeper lineup, I think. But I'm just making assumptions because it's very small data point. So I wanted to hear your thoughts on that. Like if I told you you're going to score 1 big inning, or you're going to score at least 1 run in 3 different innings, would you have a preference, or they're all runs?
Yeah. I mean, you're just, you go in with a game plan. You're trying to score. You're trying to put together good at-bats. And, however that comes, there's going to be nights where, you're facing a stud and he's dealing and it's going to be harder and you're scrapping. With the depth of our offense, we've seen a lot of those explosive innings, which are always great. But however you get it done, it's not like you're going in saying, all right, let's shoot for the big inning this game. And you're trying to go up there and put together good at bats and score all the time. So can't worry about the result of it.
Yeah. The Yankees have scored 4 more runs in 1 inning 19 times this season. That's the second best in Major League Baseball. Besides the Cubs are like big inning merchants. It's kind of insane.
Cubs have been killing it, man. Wow.
88.5% of time, the team if a team scores 4 runs in 1 inning, they win the game this season.
Wow, I would have thought it was even higher than that.
Well, here's another one. The Yankees are the only team to score 10-plus innings twice this season. But you have to be careful because that is only has an 80% winning percentage this season.
A team that scored 10 in 1 inning?
Yeah. Diamondbacks
scored 10 in 1 inning and then lost.
So it's been 5 times?
5 times, yeah.
Oh, math guy. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we're obviously big Yankee fans, and we didn't fall asleep for the post game. But part of the big conversation was going back to Weave, and actually the broadcast we were talking about this. It was, Jeff Nelson lets it rip. I don't know if you've heard any Nelly highlights on the broadcast, but he eats up there. But Caster was kind of on it, just like, okay, you're pushing the Weaver button today, coming off of the first time he's really gotten hit this year at all. And I guess more importantly for Yankee fans, it's like, okay, you're taking Weave out of the equation for tonight's game. So I guess what else went into that thought process besides let's win a game?
4 runs has kind of, in a lot of ways, turned into the new save scenario with the 3-batter minimums. So I was a little concerned with just, having coverage like today coming off, we're in this stretch of whatever, 9 in a row. We had the rain delay where we had to, use some guys. And I just felt like, if I go to Hammy or something there, and then I have to get Weave up anyway, who I got up in the 8th, just in case we had to put out another fire. I was just worried about leaving us really short today, especially depending on if I have low or not today, because, he went 2 up. So we're, being careful there. So I was worried about getting somebody up and then still maybe having to get Weave into the game if it turned into a save situation. And then I got 3 or 4 guys down potentially and no real length, if we get in a situation the next day. So I just felt like the 4 runs last night kind of had to turn into a save situation.
That's kind of what I, when we were talking about it, I said is Weave's been coming into these games anyway. When it's 4 runs, the base runner comes on. So just give him the clean inning.
Yeah. And look, that's not going to be the case every time, obviously, but just with the lay of the land, with what's happened the last couple days and into today, I just felt, and De Los Santos went out for 2 ups. So then I'm starting to compromise any little bit of length that I might have going into today if, we get in a situation. So that was kind of the calculus.
You went Yarby to Yeri. I appreciate that. Thank you. After asking for it last week, you teased it and then went away from it. But
Yeri threw the ball really well too. That was exciting.
So is it safe to assume Weaver is unavailable tonight? And if you're Ron Washington and co, please stop listening.
Yeah, I'd stay away from him tonight.
Was that mean?
I mean, it'd be nice to get him a couple days into the off day, into the weekend series, but we'll see.
Now, does that mean Devin would slot into that role tonight, or Loizaga, or play it by Lane?
No, I'd close with Devin.
Okay, cool. He's been fun to watch lately.
Yeah.
Going back to the series in Coors, you got 2 young pitchers that haven't pitched there before. And Warren has been working on using his sinker a lot more. In the first inning, didn't have that much depth to it because Coors does that to pitches, and saw him kind of pivot again away from it. And Clarke, he doesn't have the 4-seam fastball. Like, all of his pitches move. So I saw Clarke go cutter heavy. How much goes into a pitcher's prep? Saw Max Fried throw more fastballs than he's ever thrown since the most fastballs he's thrown in a game since 2018. So how much goes into the prep for those 2 guys where you want them to just do what they're doing, but also this is a weird obstacle you do have to account for pitching at the altitude?
Yeah, it does go into it a little bit. And, some of our analytical department did a really good job ahead of time of kind of giving us a lay of how, different guys would be impacted by it. Some guys less, obviously, some other guys, a little higher impacted by just their pitches, their deception, what they rely on for their excellence. So, so it does go into it. But you can't get so bogged down by it that, you're not just going and out and focusing on execution. And, I thought I heard Will talk about it after the game. It's like, I still got to just go get it to places that I want to get it to. And that really is ultimately what it's all about. First and foremost is command. Can you get it to where you want to go with it? And that, if you execute that, you're still going to give yourself a chance to be really successful. So it definitely is different for those guys. And especially, I think, when they haven't done it before, and now all of a sudden you're out there and you're trying to gauge things and things aren't doing exactly what they normally do. That's a little bit of an adjustment that you got to be able to do. That's challenging.
You called him Will there. You're usually giving us insight into the nicknames in the clubhouse. We've been calling him Young William Warren, kind of like Braveheart voice. You got to do that. You can use that if you want to bring that back to the clubhouse. It's pretty fun to say. Young William Warren.
Okay.
All right.
Done. Hey, it's tough. Hey, we're Yankee fans. We're even when times are good, we're looking to get better. This team went to the World Series last year. Let's do it again. Let's win the whole damn thing. Is there anything with Wellesley? Like it feels like he's been doing a similar thing most of the season. The slug has been there. When he runs into one, it goes. And I know you're a big control the zone guy. It feels like there's more chase, and that's leading to less walks. Is there anything else you're seeing with Wellesley?
No, I mean, I feel like even last night he got some really good swings off. There's been a lot of just misses. Just missed even the sac fly, which was a big run at the time. I thought got the right swing off, really good swing off, just missed it earlier in the game. Got a good swing off to left. He's put some balls on the net where he's fouled pitches off. So I feel like he's been all right. He's just not probably sticking quite enough pitches that he needs to, that you really need to take advantage of when you're going to put up big numbers. But he's still a guy I just have a ton of confidence in a big spot, off that, you need a big at bat, runners on, whatever it may be. He's going to give you that. And then hopefully, he gets to a point where, man, he starts getting really hot and, starts putting hits together and, hitting the ball over the fence a little bit. So I feel like he's been all right, just not getting a ton of results here lately, probably. Although thought he had back-to-back really good games in Colorado where he swung the bat well. And then, so I feel like he's swinging the bat okay. And you're right. There's probably been a few walks he's left on the table where he's left the zone in a couple of games. But I don't feel that he's all that far off.
Okay. Another guy on the team. What a pivot. Peraza. Judge was interviewed, asked questions about Peraza, and a Judge quote was, and he's the captain, he's giving a vote of confidence, but he says, give him a chance to play every single day. Good things are going to happen. It's been a little bit of a three-way dance with your beat, DJ, and Peraza. Peraza has got a lot more run lately. Is that dance just going to continue, or could Peraza, like one of the three, just snap and you're like, I can't take this guy out. He's got to be in there every day.
No, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. That's always fluid, Gosh, he's played so well on defense. He's made some plays that are, not a lot of people make. I feel like he's given us some competitive at-bats, not getting a ton of results, but he's had a couple big at-bats here along the way too, but the defense has been outstanding. So we'll continue to, just let it play out.
We haven't had a ton of Judge questions because what do you question? In this, I think you'll tell him the tone, but it's become a little bit of joke on the internet, Yankees internet. When Judge isn't hitting 400, it's kind of like frowny face. When Judge is hitting 400, it's like big smile, everything's good. Are you feeling that in the dugout?
Not really.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I just like when he comes up to bat.
Yeah.
Did you hear his quote after that game? It said he still doesn't feel good at the plate.
Yeah. Look, someone was asking me, is this the best couple month stretch you've ever seen from him? And my answer was absolutely not.
No, that was 2022, that Milwaukee stretch.
No, I did. So I actually went back and looked. The first thing I looked at was last May and June. And May and June dwarfs April, May this year.
Could you not say dwarfs?
Sorry about that.
We'll be okay.
And that's just the first one I looked up. So like you said, I'm sure there's probably a couple runs in 22. I'm sure there's a couple last year. I'm sure there is in 23. So, obviously he's been pretty amazing, but to say it's the best 2 month stretch, when I was asked that question, I was like, absolutely not. Like it's crazy, but I've seen him, where you make a mistake, it's a homer, and he's just been really steady so far and getting a ton of hits, obviously.
His career numbers in all the West Coast ballparks are also crazy. So hopefully we have a couple. We run into a fun stretch here. I've got a baseball question. It stems from something that happened in the game.
You've been teeing up your question so well.
Thank you.
This one's about a player.
You've
this
teed
one's about
yours up
baseball.
by saying I'm a Yankees fan.
Yeah.
A couple times.
Yeah.
No, this just it's it's something that happened, but I don't really care about that specific moment. Just in general, Trent Grisham runs to third to bait the throw to make sure, so they cut it off so the run scores, and he gets out. How does that go down? Like, is that just that base runner is smart and he's doing it? Is there a third baseman that signals it, a first base reminder, or is that
that's a runner decision. So I think it's one of the most overrated things sometimes guys do, where they get that. It usually happens between first and second, right? You get that base hit, runner at second, 2 outs, and that runner, you'll see him getting a run down between first and second just to try and get the cut. And I feel like a lot of times guys do it when there's really not going to be a play at the plate. I thought this one was a really good decision by Grish, because I thought whether he was going to be out or not, it looked, and you watch the replay, I think he's probably safe anyway, but it's close. And I think it was the right decision to force the cut in that situation. So I actually thought that was a really good read on something that I think, going back to when I played, I felt like guys would way too much round first, getting that rundown when there's not going to be a play because, they want to make sure, force that cut. But I thought in this situation it was the right thing, but it's more of that's more of a in the moment read by the runner.
And it's not something like maybe certain teams have as a team identity, like in spring training. Hey, we're going to try and do this a lot. Is it because it's so in the moment?
Yeah, it's in the moment, and it's and look, it doesn't happen that often. It's a read where you like, this guy's either going to be out at the plate, or you think there's a real chance he's out at the plate, so you want to force the cut.
Chase Headley, before you became the skipper, I just have memories of Chase Headley doing this a lot and getting out, and Yankees fans being very upset. But then he did bait the runner. But then
used to be a pet peeve of mine when I played. When a teammate would do that, I'm like, "There's no play. There's no play at the plate."
Is last one on it? I don't think there is. But is there any like rule of thumb with it? Is it like, hey, if it's the tying or winning run, like that's a little more encouraged or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is more, but
yeah.
I mean, that's the situational awareness that you got to have.
Okay.
I know you got 2 more against the Angels, but we won't talk to you before playing the Dodgers, which is a World Series matchup. All 3 games are national television. Will there be any added emphasis or fun or painful memories, or has it all been washed?
Never all be washed, but look, I think the couple times we've gone to LA in the regular season, like, those are fun series. I mean, it feels big. There'll be a lot of hype around it. So it's always fun in the regular season, I think, to be in those environments and have those experiences. I think they're good for our guys to play in, big games, within the regular season. So it should be a lot of fun, and hopefully, we go play well.
Are you going to keep Judge away from that damn right field wall?
No, he's going to play right field.
Damn.
Okay.
I think they fixed it a little bit, haven't they?
You would hope so.
Mm-hmm.
That's stunk.
Let Judgy know that I say if he's tentative, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It was around this time, right? June? It was like early June or late May.
I think it was June.
It was brutal. My house, the air conditioning broke, so I was at a hotel with like the dogs and the kids, and then Judge kicks a cement wall. I was like, this is all brutal. What a brutal night for everyone involved. Yeah.
Your AC goes down and you move out.
Yeah. Boone.
Develop a little bit of grit out there. Let's go.
Kids, there's dogs.
There's kids, there's dogs, babies. It's no way.
Couple area fans. And
I think the power was out, so there's no cable.
Right through it.
I couldn't watch the game.
Wow.
Pregnant wife,
Locust.
Yeah. You got trivia?
We sure do. I've actually got a double for you.
Wow.
Trivia is presented by T-Mobile. Get the best 5G coverage in the game with T-Mobile. Max Fried's pickoff move. Nice. He picked off 2 runners in the start versus the Rockies this weekend. Who was the last Yankee to do that? It is someone you managed.
Last Yankee to pick off 2 runners in a game?
Yeah.
Sevy.
It's not Sevy. Similar, I was going to say similar
I would guess
timeline.
Nestor.
Not Nestor. Ooh, that's a good guess. The sun will come out tonight.
That's the first name that popped in my head, actually.
Do you miss him sometimes like we do? Because he was a gem.
Awesome.
That's all I need. My last going away question, Nixon 6?
Nixon 6. I'm saying Nixon 7.
I'll take it.
Because I think we have an off day on game 7. So
Smart.
Smart.
It's a good call. All right, thanks, Boone. Enjoy the rest of the West Coast trip.
all right, Blanches.
Today's episode of Talking Yanks is brought to you by American Crew. It's you put in your hair. I put it in my hair for Weekly Dumb the other day. Mark Hoppus. My hair was standing straight up. It is a beautiful thing. Go check it out. It also makes you look how you want to look if you don't want the Hoppus look. They've got a ton of different stuff. They've got just like any type of stuff you put in your hair, they have. Fiber Puck is the MVP. They've got the firm. They've got the goopy stuff. Anything. And then you look like a pro. So that's American Crew. Do your hair. Look better. It holds like no other. Perfect for post-game day or high-intensity day for that matter. Wow. For a post-game, it holds like no other. Perfect for a post-game day. Beebs, what does that mean? Perfect for a post-game day?
I don't know.
Or any high-intensity day for that matter.
Post after the game. Post game.
Freshen
day.
up,
Okay.
reset yourself.
The forming cream gives you the power and the freedom to just change your hair into whatever you want it to be. Mark Hoppus, cool guy like me, Elvis, all that. They got the pomade puck for that slick back look, smooth control with a glossy finish. They got tons of stuff. You can grab your essentials and ensure your hair always scores high no matter the play, whether you're fielding tough questions or tackling a busy schedule. Make your hair look good. American Crew. Style like a pro. Look like a champ. That was Boone. He bantered with us. Good spirits again. They keep winning. If they win this Anaheim series, it'll be the first time they win 7 series in a row since a long time. Max told me. He just left. He told me that before the episode, that when the last time they won 7 series in a row was. Forget.
So that's good. Yeah, I mean, on the West Coast, and I was thinking about following up, like, they always talk about players going on the road, and they're like, oh, it's, you go to your hometown, you got to deal with tickets and family. Boone seemed hype. He was like, yeah, I saw my old high school friends last night. I'm seeing my parents for breakfast.
Well, parents is nice.
So he's in good spirits.
Hey, they're not asking for tickets, though.
And they're winning.
They're winning.
Every series.
Anything stand out to you? He enjoyed. I'm glad that he answered the Grisham baiting question. It seems he was like, I think it's overrated.
Yeah.
Which I think it is. I think it is a lot of times. I think Soto used to do it last year, or Glaber used to think he was doing it a lot. And it is sometimes people hear oh, this can happen, and then they force it.
I think I feel like there used to be, and he mentioned a generational thing with it. If there was 2 outs and it ended the inning, I think guys kind of looked at it as like, hey, I get my RBI and I don't have to run the bases. And I think that's what it used to be. It used to happen a lot more.
Yeah, it's true. The Austin Wells, you mentioned he's chasing a lot. Boone, I don't know, he talked around that one a little bit. He is chasing pitches out of the zone way more, making contact with them less. He's also making more contact in the zone, which I think leads to more flyouts and ground balls instead of squaring them up.
Oh, yeah, and you got to, Boone talk. Again, he's always going to defend his players to the utmost. Him saying Austin's left a few walks out there and a couple swing decisions, that's Boone being like, yeah, we're not sure what that is. Because that was, I don't let the numbers fully take me over, but they help. Like, Austin Wells' walk percentage last year, 89th percentile. Like, that's elite. Like, that was his skill. Like, yes, in the summer he was driving the ball in, but like, that's what he had, and he's not doing that this year. So that's and for the Yankees, that's what they drive home with every player, every prospect. Like, you're not allowed to play if you don't do that. That's a little bizarre.
I'm finding a stat right now.
Okay.
There's 3 balls on the batter. The pitch is out of the zone. The batter swings. Who do you think's done it the most in baseball? I don't know. It's refreshing, so it's not a target.
Say it one more time.
Swinging at ball 4. There's 3 balls.
Okay.
The pitch is out of the zone.
3-ball count. Gotcha.
And they swing at it. I just toggled the list this season, so this isn't a percentage-based thing. It's just most times they've done it.
So player that's had a 3-ball count that could have gotten a walk.
Yeah.
But they struck out or any bad
No,
result?
they just swung at ball 4.
They swung at ball 4. Golly.
And the way that
That's a good one, Jim.
it'd be better to do it percentage based,
Right.
because
yeah, games played.
you got to play a lot of games to get a lot of these.
It's a leadoff hitter that doesn't care about walking too much. Jarren Duran.
Or maybe you think about it like this: it's a guy that thinks in my position on this team, I have to do more. I have to do more than walk. I need a 2-bagger,
Right.
and I have a big butt.
Shea Langeliers.
Cal Raleigh,
Nice.
24 times. Anthony Santander,
That's
23.
interesting.
Manny Machado, 20.
Because Cal's kind of an on-base guy. Santander's a great one because he's kind of not. But like
Pete Alonso, he probably feels the need to slug a little bit.
Right. A lot of other guys not pulling the rope.
Juan Slumpo.
That was a real headline.
What?
Slumpo.
Really?
I think one of the newspapers did that.
Kind of funny. Volpe's 15.
He's been okay. Okay.
He's the one, and Volpe's been hitting good lately, and he's been coming through in big moments.
Yeah.
But Volpe does that a lot.
He's left a couple out there. Similar to Wellesley. Is Wells even like?
Let me see. I'm gonna sort it as just Yankees. Who's done this the most as a Yankee this season? And Volpe, 16 times. Goldie, 14 times.
Okay.
And he's just bat to ball, so I wonder if he thinks this and this and this and that. Judge 13, Belly 12, Dominguez 12, Trent 11, Wells 9. I could toggle this and go like batting average, slug, whiffs. Include those in the result.
Sure.
Because then you could see that
if it's good or bad.
Yeah, Volpe has 3 hits on ball 4s.
Okay.
And a 333 batting average. So it's done him pretty well.
So that's on the pitch he swung at, not like later in the at-bat.
No, not later in the at-bat, just on that pitch. His first or second homer of the season, remember that inside one that he pulled?
Oh, yeah.
It was like way inside, and he pulled it for a homer, which he doesn't do that often. That was pretty cool.
Get your hands in.
Get your hands in.
Anything else from Boone?
No. He didn't dislike young William Warren. Like on the Boone scale.
Yeah.
I gave him a free shot to.
Right. He could have punched back pretty easily.
He could have trash talked and just been like, nah, which he has a lot.
Yeah.
Like, no.
No, that's not. I'm not going to do that.
That's longer. So
he was interested.
Basically, he's interested.
He's been looking what to do with Will Warren.
Yeah, he called him Will.
Right.
Which you can't do.
No.
It was kind of gross to hear.
I unfortunately am not going to help with the current fear you have.
You have to bark as well.
I'll do the schedule first. You noted last episode that the Yankees the past 4 years have been fantastic in April and May.
Yeah. Which
unfortunately hasn't had the best results for the rest of the season. A couple seasons like essentially tanked. Dude, July.
That's the one numbers I've been giving you.
I know. July is going to be brutal.
Yeah.
If you count the Blue Jays as a fair, I'll say medium.
Okay, medium.
And they're both on the road in Toronto, so that even if you're down on Toronto, in Toronto with their team, let's consider them a medium to okay opponent, right? Toronto, the Mets, who have been fantastic. The first place Mariners, the first place Cubs.
Cubs are scary.
Braves, who are, we'll see where they're at in July. It's either very fight or flight for them.
They're forfeiting games.
Blue Jays,
Not scared.
Phillies,
Good team.
and then they end with the Rays. But like no Orioles, no White Sox, no, like the Blue Jays are the worst team on there, and it's 2 road Toronto series. So
Yeah.
July's the buckle up month.
Isn't June harder?
I don't think so. June's got the Athletics, the Reds, and the Orioles and the Angels to finish up. It starts off with a nice start.
This stretch of
Preseason
Dodgers,
looked hard.
Cleveland, Boston, Kansas City, Boston.
Yeah, but Boston.
No, but they still struggle with Boston sometimes,
Sure.
especially at Fenway.
But yeah, the
feel like
second
they
half of
struggle.
the month, Angels, Orioles, Reds, A's.
Yes, the second half is light, but this stretch
It's
is
a good
This stretch is somewhat real. Like, Colorado and Angels haven't been juicing us up a little bit.
Right.
After that, Dodgers, Guardians, Red Sox. Remember I talked about this? Faux row.
Right.
It's
Clips
faux row.
ready.
That's crazy. Faux row.
And Baltimore was in that too. They have not joined the party this season, but
No, they're bad. They've won 3 series all year.
They're awful.
yeah,
Yeah.
one of them's us.
I don't know. Yanks probably get Schneider fired on that stretch, though.
Okay. Probably.
It's a thought.
Hurt.
Yankees love them.
Hurt.
Yankees. Okay, that's P.
That's just P.
A little more bass to it, I'm guessing, when he has to poop.
He will lead with a slight growl. Okay, let's go, big guy. If he turns
It's like,
on me,
we gotta go.
Now do your cues. If I was to call Jess and be like, "What does Jake do when he has to pee?" And
I do the little kid thing. I just hold my wiener.
that's smart.
Yeah.
I find you have like I gotta pee and then I gotta go to the bathroom.
I
It's
mean,
like what most people.
You
say.
already know the secret too. If I have to go number 2, it's just if you want to reveal the same thing that me and your father have.
Yeah. One.
Stay tuned.
Go Yanks. No trade talk right away.
DraftKings, baseball fans, the season is rolling in every at-bat, every inning. The road to October is taking shape. There's no better time to get in on the action with our partners at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, new customers who use code JMBaseball, you can bet $5, and if your bet wins, you'll score $300 in bonus bets. From walk-off homers to no-hitters, you don't want to miss a pitch this baseball season, so why don't you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now? New customers use promo code JMBaseball. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. That's promo code JMBaseball. This firecracker is only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Jake, here's what I did. I said the Yankees are going to trade for someone, but they like the Jazz Chisholm model, guy that's got years available.
Right.
So that's going to not be a free agent for a while. So I put in all the third basemen that are going to be free agent in 2028.
Okay.
I didn't scour this in any way at all. So some of these guys.
So you're getting us a third baseman for 2.5 years.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what they did with Jazz.
I love it.
He loves that. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys that come up when you
Okay.
do this. And here we go. Abraham Toro from the Red Sox.
Excitement level, a 1 out of 5. Reality of the trade, a 1 out of 5. It gives him a total score of 2.
Emmanuel Rivera from Baltimore.
Reality of the trade, a 2
Out of,
out of 5.
Okay.
Excitement for the trade, a 1.
okay, Isaac Paredes, Astros.
Reality of a trade, a 1. Excitement if the trade happened, a 4.
Okay. Ryan McMahon of your Rocks.
Don't do this to me. Reality of the trade, a 0. Excitement for the trade, a 4.
Jamer Candelario from the Reds. You're a Red, so you say are dead and buried.
Wow. Reality of the trade, 2.
Okay.
Excitement for the trade, unfortunately, 2. I don't know how good he is at third base anymore, and he's been one of the worst hitters in baseball.
Wow.
He is from New York, though.
Okay.
So we love that.
New York, New York. There's one more on this list that comes up. Nolan Arenado.
Reality of the trade, 3. Excitement for the trade, if it happened, would honestly be a 5. Because I do think people get dumb, and I'm people that, like, obviously his contract's not ideal, and there's a whole people would need. If the Yankees got Nolan Arenado, Hall of Fame, a guy with the argument to be one of the best defensive third basemen ever, and we need another righty bat, like, I would be through the moon.
Okay, now I changed it to 2027, so you get these guys for a year and a half, and we'll go real quick through them.
Real
Okay,
quick, then.
ready? Jorge Polanco.
Man, I've liked him and wanted him at third base. I would say reality is like a 1. Like, Seattle's good and not going to trade, and they like him. Excitement, I would be a 3.
Ramon Urias from the Orioles.
Reality of the trade would probably be a 4. Excitement would be a 3. He can play good defense, and he's a righty bat.
Edmundo Sosa from the Phillies.
Ooh, again, I think reality is a 2. They'd have contender to contender there. Excitement would probably be 3. He's an electric little player.
Santiago Espinal.
Bro, I'm going to be high and tight with this. 1-1. He's like an IKF light.
Ooh. Anthony Rendon.
No, doesn't work.
Alex Bregman.
I would be excited. 5 out of 5 excitement. 1 out of 5 reality.
Josh Rojas.
That's a 2 and a 1.
There you go. The market's pretty light. It's really nothing going at all.
You know, like, yeah.
No, it's
Jazz to third?
You can do Jazz to third and second baseman. We'll do that next week. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys. Go Yanks. Tell them, Grams.
Go Yankees.
What did you drop over there?